Good morning everyone. So my name is Muhammad Zain Melatif B032421. So today our group is group B will talk about IC security policy during COVID-19 and MCO. So for the introduction, during the COVID-19 pandemic MCO, many people work from home. So the organization need a strong ICT policy to ensure security, privacy, and productivity. So for now, I will share you about five important policy useful for organization during this COVID-19. Okay, for the first useful ICT policy is video conferring and virtual meeting policy. First, we must ensure online meeting, Zoom, Team, or Google Meet are secure. And then we must prevent issue like Zoom booming or authorized recording. And then meeting must use a password, restrict screen sharing, and permission before recording. So for second, we have home Wi-Fi security guideline policy, which is we must guide employee to secure their home Wi-Fi, which is change router password or enable WPA2 or WPA3 and update their firmware. For number three, we have cloud storage and file sharing policy, which is ensure only approved cloud tool are used like Google Drive, and sensitive file must be encrypted and personal email is not allowed for every work. For number four, we have digital well-being and ergonomic policy, which is promote healthy working from home, which is include a screen break reminder, proper chair or lighting, and limited after work message. For number five, we have remote device monitoring and logging policy, which is allow IT team to monitor work device for 3. And then follow PDPA law to balance monitoring and employee privacy. For our group, the policy we choose is a video conferencing and virtual meeting policy. So for our argument for using this policy is for argument one, the high risk of meeting distribution. During MCO, many Zoom or Meet without knowing how to secure them. So Zoom booming accident always happen, which is a stranger join the meeting. So private data was something shared without control. With this policy, organization can use password, control who can share screen, and allow recording with permission. So for our argument number two is data privacy and legal compliance. So the meeting often involve confidential info like HR, finance, and client data. So without this rule, this data can be leaked and cause a illegal issue. So the policy ensure PDPA 2010 compliance, staff can know what is allowed and what is it, and organization is protect legal and reputation. So next for overview, I will give my teammate to discuss about it.
Hi everyone, my name is Suresh. I'll start with the overview. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and MCU in 2021, many employees work from home. This increased use of video conferencing applications such as Zoom and Microsoft Teams. This also brings risk including unauthorized access, data leaks, and cyber threats. Because of the convenience of unified communication platforms, organizations could establish and enforce policies with little delay. However, without the use of proper security controls, many organizations had greater legal risk and reputational harm also. An applicable video conference policy that establishes secure access, privacy requirements, and platform authority will help to manage this risk. When you implement the video conferencing policy, you take actions towards safer and more secure remote communication. To simplify, the rise in video conferencing during the COVID-19 pandemic increased security risk, highlighting the need for a clear policy to ensure secure, private, and authorized remote communication.
Assalamualaikum and good evening, and today I will explain about the purpose. So the purpose is this policy aims to protect the confidentiality and integrity of company information during virtual meetings. It was introduced during COVID-19 when remote work became necessary. The goal is to firstly is to prevent unauthorized access and data leaks like Zoom bombing, and secondly is to ensure secure and professional online meetings, and thirdly is comply with PDPA 2010 for data protection, and lastly is to set clear rule for tools behavior and technical requirement. And next is scope. This policy applies to all employees, interns, contractor, and third party involved in virtual meeting using company approved platform like Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, and much more. And it covers firstly is internal and external virtual meetings, and secondly is use of personal or company device networks. Thirdly is use of video, audio, chat, file sharing, and recording, and lastly is expected user behavior and security practice. So next, I will pass to my group mate.
Okay, I'll continue with the policy. Firstly, approved platform. Only organization approved and licensed video conferencing platforms such as Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Google Meet by Workspace are need to be used for conducting official meetings. Secondly, meeting access control. Before giving the access, it is the organizer's duty to check if all the participants are indeed who they say they are. To manage participants in an efficient way, it is advisable to use features such as a waiting room or password for the meeting. Next, thirdly, recording and data privacy. Recording of meetings is allowed only if all participants agree and this has been made explicitly clear at the beginning of the meeting. The fourth, conduct during meetings. Whatever is being shared, be it screens, files, or other media, should be in line with the meeting and must not contain sensitive personal information or be on unrelated topics. Staff in their turn are obligated to practice professional conduct to be sure that they have no elements in the backgrounds. Okay, next, fifth, technical security measures. Users must have the most recent antivirus software to use the device safely. When discussing sensitive or confidential issues in meetings, users should avoid using unprotected Wi-Fi or accessing it in public areas. Next, incident reporting. If you notice any technical problems while a virtual meeting is going on, report the matter immediately to the IT department or security officer. The last, policy enforcement. If you fail to comply with this policy, then disciplinary action will be taken against you, which may include suspension of the use of video conferencing platforms or further discussion with HR management.
Good morning, sir. I'm Devaganathan. Now let's look at our policy compliance. Our organization ensures policy compliance for the video conferencing, for secure video conferencing. First of all, we have multiple enforcement mechanisms for that. To start with, all employees must undergo mandatory training both during onboarding and every year after that. Secondly, everyone must acknowledge the policy either by signing or by through online acknowledgement. Thirdly, the IT department should configure all the video conferencing tools such as Zoom, um, Google Meet, and other softwares with secure default settings, including password protected meetings, waiting rooms enabled, and also default screen share. The screen sharing option is turned off by default. Finally, a reminder about these rules will be sent to all staffs and members annually via email or internal system. Next, let's move to monitoring and auditing. The IT team will monitor logs to track who joined the meetings and what has been shared, and then whether the video were recorded or not. Random spot checks may also be conducted to ensure meetings are set up securely. Regular internal audits will review how people are following the new rules. Finally, staff can give feedback or any any opinions to open feedback channels, so that if anything serious, further action will be taken. Apart from enforcement and monitoring, the violation should also be reported accordingly so that further actions could be taken. First of all, for that, multiple reporting options are available. For example, supervisor, the HR, and the IT staff members can report via secure channels. Secondly, confidentiality is protected, which means there is no retaliation where legally allowed. This can also be called as a whistleblower act in other companies. Thirdly, quick and fair investigations. Actions taken by IT and HR teams will be quick and fair, uh, so that violator that has been reported should be taken care of. Lastly, legal risk. The breach of PDPA 2010 and reputational harm. Now let's see consequences of non-compliance. Let's say we don't have any compliance for a policy. A minor consequence would be retraining, verbal or written warnings to the staffs or anyone who's against the not complying to the policy. A moderate consequence would be access restrictions and repeated violations to the staffs. Finally, if it becomes a serious non-compliance, it will cause high consequences such as suspension, termination, or even legal action. So, complying to the new latest updated policy is a must. So now let's look at related standards and policies. Our policy doesn't stand alone. It has some other policies that are aligned with this one. First of all, information security policies. So this policy protects the information of company and the staff member data. Secondly, acceptable use policy. It covers the proper use of conferencing tools and softwares. Thirdly, data protection and privacy policy. Staff members' privacy and sensitive data such as uh, name and other work-related details will be protected under this policy or PDPA compliance. Fourthly, remote work policies. This policy covers a broad work from home related things or work from home related settings. Finally, incident response policy. If a bad incident such as a video being hacked or data being leaked, this policy will provide good guidance or steps to handle this kind of incidents. External standards and best practices. Um, First one would be PDPA 2010, which are one of the most famous policies in Malaysia. This policy manages legal handling of name, messages, and recording that has been sent through uh, social media or online messaging softwares. Secondly, Cybersecurity Malaysia (CSM) guidelines. These handle secure communication practices between devices in Malaysia. Thirdly, NACSA advisories. This provides extra precautions during high risk periods, such as the lockdown period and other important high risk periods. Finally, industry best practices ISO IEC 27001 or NIST. These policies are very well known for the encryption, multi-factor authentication, access control, and other security related settings. Finally, there are some supporting processes in our policy, such as onboarding and offboarding, which means the onboarding and offboarding uh, access is properly granted or removed. Secondly, only approved and secure software is allowed to use. Thirdly, regular patch updates will be given so that the apps are up to date and protected better. After that, MFA or multi-factor authentication and secure login systems should be managed account safely. Finally, backups protect important data and ongoing security training keeps the staff and other members up to date. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum everybody. So in this part, I will presenting about definitions and terms because not everyone know the definitions that we use in the report. So I will be explaining it one by one so everyone will know and understand some of the definitions and terms we use. Firstly is Personal Data Protection Act, PDPA 2010. It is a law that governs the processing of personal data in commercial transactions to safeguard individuals' privacy. Second one is MCO, which is Movement Control Order. It is a governmental order in Malaysia implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic from 2020 to 2021, mandating movement restrictions, including remote working arrangements. And then Zoom bombing. It is an act of uninvited individuals disrupting a video conference, often with inappropriate or offensive content. The fourth one is meeting access control. It is a security features that prevent unauthorized access to virtual meetings. And then virtual meeting, a meeting held over the internet where participants can communicate through audio, video, chat, and screen sharing in real time. The last definitions and the third is incident reporting. It is a process of notifying the IT or security team about technical issues, security breaches, or policy violations during virtual meetings. Next one is revision history. Uh, this is the history in the report that we use for revision. So there are five. First one is pre-2020, which is before COVID-19. Video conferencing was not mainly used. For example, it is used for international meetings or remote offices. Policies, if any, were general IT usage or data protection policies. Security risks were lower due to limited usage. And then in early 2020, where the COVID-19 started, the COVID-19 pandemic forced a massive shift to remote work. Organizations began using video conferencing platform daily. This sudden reliance exposed numerous cybersecurity and privacy concerns. And then after that, during mid to late 2020, security incidents led to the urgent creation of dedicated virtual meeting policies. Governments, including Malaysia's Nexa and CSM, began issuing advisories. Emphasis was placed on data protection and authorized tools. During 2021, which is when MCO enforcement with the Malaysian government enforcing MCO, companies adopted formal video conferencing and virtual meeting policies. These policies address platform approval, user behavior, technical security, and compliance with PDPA 2010. And 2022 until present time, policies are standardized and more sophisticated. Things included are training requirements, policy enforcement mechanisms, and integration with broader cybersecurity policies. Video conferencing security became part of audit and compliance frameworks.